18. Availability check and transfer of requirement. Availability check. Availability check with a TP logic or against planning. The process of determining if the requested stock is available for the customer's delivery date, ATP, available to promise, checks actual stock and incoming receipts, dynamic, while against planning checks against planned independent requirements, static, to reserve capacity. Define checking groups, a grouping in the material master, MRP3 view, that determines how and if availability is checked for that material. Example: O1 for daily requirements aggregation, VSO2 for individual requirements. Define material block for other users, a setting that temporarily locks the material plant stock record during the availability check calculation to prevent two users from confirming the same stock simultaneously, hard block versus soft block. Define checking groups default value, configuration that sets a default checking group for materials based on their material type and plant, ensuring new materials are automatically set up for the correct availability logic. Carry out control for availability check, the matrix configuration that combines the checking group from material and checking rule from transaction. Example: A for ST order, to define the scope of check, which stocks and receipts are considered. Define procedure by requirements class, assigns the specific availability check controls, such as whether to check against safety stock or replenishment lead time, to the requirements class, linking it to the transaction type. Define procedure for each schedule line category, the critical link where the schedule line category, example, CP or CN, dictates whether an availability check is actually triggered and whether requirements are transferred to MRP. Determine procedure for each delivery item category, specifies the availability check rule used during the delivery creation process, which often differs from the order check. Example: checking only physical storage location stock. Checking rule for updating back orders, defines the logic used during backorder processing, rescheduling, or VV2 to prioritize and reallocate stock to open orders based on delivery priority and date. Define default settings, general control parameters for the availability check screen, such as whether the system automatically proposes the one-time delivery or complete delivery dates when stock is short. Transfer of requirement. Define requirements classes, the controlling element that contains all parameters for demand management, including the consumption strategy of planned independent requirements and the configuration of the availability check. Define requirements types, a text identifier, example, 041011, representing a specific planning strategy, like make to stock or make to order, that points to a specific requirements class. Determination of requirement types using transaction, the logic that automatically derives the requirement type in the sales order based on the item category, and the MRP type from the material master. Define procedure for each schedule line category. Controls if the specific schedule line transmits a requirement to PP or MRP, for example. A quote schedule line does not transfer requirements, but an order schedule line does. Block quantity confirmation in delivery blocks, configuration that ensures if an order is on a delivery block. Example: credit hold. The confirmed quantity is removed or not passed to production or purchasing to prevent unnecessary procurement. Maintain requirements for transfer of requirements, a customized routine, VOFM, that defines prerequisites for transferring demand. For example, only transfer requirements if the credit check status is OK. Maintain requirements for purchase and assembly orders, controls specifically for third-party, TAS, and assembly, TAS, processes to ensure the purchase requisition is only generated when specific conditions, like complete configuration, are met. 19. Revenue and reconciliation account determination. Revenue account determination. Check master data relevant for account assignment. Ensures that the account assignment group fields are populated in the Customer Master, Billing tab, and Material Master, Sales to tab to act as keys for finding the GL account. Define dependencies, the creation of condition tables for account determination, table C001, C002, etc., defining the combination of keys, example, cust. GRP or Material GRP or ACCT key used to find the GL. Define access sequences and account determination types. The search strategy, access sequence, assigned to the condition type, usually COFE, that dictates the order in which the system searches the tables for a valid GL account. Define and assign account determination procedures. The schema listing the valid condition types. COFI for standard GL, KOFK for controlling. Assign to the billing document type. Define and assign account keys. 3-character codes. Example: ERL for revenue, ERS for deductions. Assigned in the pricing procedure against condition types, acting as the bridge to direct those specific values to different GL accounts. Assign G or L accounts, the final mapping table, transaction VKOA, where you link the keys, sales org, ACCT key, ACCT assignment groups, to the specific general ledger account numbers. Reconciliation account determination. Reconciliation account determination, based on condition technique, an alternative method to the standard customer master setting, allowing the reconciliation accounts receivable, to change dynamically based on sales criteria. Example: changing from domestic AR to export AR based on the sales order type. Assign account determination procedure, linking the specific reconciliation account determination procedure to the billing type, activating this dynamic override feature. Assign G or L accounts, mapping the specific condition keys to the alternative reconciliation G or L accounts in the configuration table, OV64. Define alternative reconciliation accounts, creating the G or L accounts in FI with the reconciliation account indicator, ensuring they can accept postings from the subledger customer. Export data from VKOA into Excel sheet, a utility function allowing consultants to download the massive VKOA mapping table for validation or mass updates during cutover or migration. Cash account determination. Cash account determination based on condition technique. Configuration used primarily in cash sales scenarios to post immediately to a cash G or L liquidity instead of a receivables account, bypassing the standard AR aging process. Assign account determination procedure, linking the cash account determination procedure to the specific cash sales billing type. Example: BV. Assign G or L accounts, identifying the specific cash G or L accounts, petty cash or clearing account, to be hit when a cash sale is posted. Define alternative reconciliation accounts. In the context of cash sales, this effectively replaces the customer AR posting with a direct cash clearing posting, requiring specific GL setup. 20. Credit management. Simple credit limit check. A static check that compares the customer's credit limit against the total of open items, invoices, and the current order value. It does not consider the horizon of future deliveries. Automatic credit check. A dynamic and complex check capable of considering open orders, open deliveries, open invoices, and the horizon. Example: only check orders due in the next 3 months. Providing a realistic view of exposure. Define credit control area, the organizational unit that sets and monitors credit limits. It can include one or more company codes, allowing for centralized credit management across multiple legal entities. Assign credit control area to company code. The critical linkage ensuring that every financial document posted in that company code updates the credit exposure in the designated credit control area. Define risk category. A classification assigned to customers. Example: high risk, low risk, new customer, used to determine which strictness of credit checks applies to them. Define credit groups. A grouping code assigned to sales document types and delivery types. Example: O1 for order, O2 for delivery, to specify at which stage the credit check is triggered. Assign sales documents and delivery documents, activating the credit check for specific document types. Example: activating it for standard orders OR, but deactivating it for free of charge FD orders. Define automatic credit control. The detailed configuration matrix, OVA8, where credit control area plus risk category plus credit group defines the exact behavior: static, dynamic, max doc value, reaction, warning, or error. Changes in item category. Configuration ensuring that if an item category is relevant for credit, example: standard item versus text item, its value contributes to the credit update, credit active flag in VOV7. Changes in pricing procedure. Assigning the subtotal A to the net value or gross value line in the pricing procedure to tell the system exactly which value to update in the credit exposure table, S066 or S067. Division-wise credit limit. A specialized setup where a customer has different credit limits for different product lines, divisions, within the same credit control area. User exit for credit management. using enhancement LVK-MPTZZ to write custom logic, such as excluding specific special stock types or implementing complex industry-specific credit formulas. 21. Output determination and delivery scheduling. Output determination. For quotation AN00, configuration of the specific output type AN00, usually set up to trigger a printed or emailed PDF quotation layout to the sold-to party immediately upon saving. Order confirmation BA00, the standard output type for confirming an order, configured with access sequences to find the correct printer or email address for the customer. Picking list or packing list or delivery challen. Logistics outputs. Example. EK00, triggered at the shipping point level to instruct warehouse personnel on what to pick and pack, and to generate the legal transport document. Standard invoice or credit memo or debit memo. Billing outputs. RD00, that generate the official legal invoice document sent to the payer, often involving integration with digital signature or EDI systems. Cover invoice or cancellation invoice, specialized outputs for cancellation documents, S1, or summary invoices, ensuring the customer receives a formal notification that a previous invoice has been reversed. Delivery scheduling. Backward scheduling, the system's default method. It starts from the customer's requested delivery date and subtracts transit time, loading time, and pick or pack time to determine the material availability date. If this date is in the past, it fails. Forward scheduling. If backward scheduling fails, date in past. The system calculates forward from the current date, today plus pick or pack, plus load plus transit, to propose the earliest possible new confirmed delivery date. 22. Copying controls. VTAA inquiry quotation or order controls the flow of data from inquiry to quote or order, determining if the reference is mandatory and which data, header or item, is copied versus redetermined, like pricing. VTLA order delivery, critical control defining how order items form a delivery, includes copying requirements, example. Order must not be credit blocked, and data transfer routines, example. Combining orders into one delivery. VTFL delivery invoice controls the creation of the billing document from the delivery handle splitting criteria, example. Different payers split the invoice, and quantity updates, billed QTY versus delivered QTY, VTAF invoice order, return. Configuration for copying billing data into a return order, ensuring the return price matches the original invoiced price exactly to prevent revenue leakage. VTFA third-party or service sale, copy control for order-related billing scenarios where no delivery exists, ensuring the invoice is generated directly based on the order quantity or the vendor invoice quantity. VTFF invoice used for cancellation, invoice to cancel doc or intercompany billing, controlling how data flows from one billing document to another. Listing and exclusion plus special. Listing and exclusion. Maintain condition tables, creating tables, example, cust-or-mat, to store the lists of materials that a specific customer is allowed, listing, or forbidden, exclusion, to purchase. Maintain listing or exclusion types, defining the condition types, example, a 001 listing, B001 exclusion, that hold the business rules for validation. Procedures for maintaining listing or exclusion, grouping the condition types into a procedure assigned to the sales document type, to activate the check during order entry. Optimize accesses, ensuring the search strategy is efficient, so system performance isn't degraded when checking large lists of allowed materials. Activate by sales document type, the assignment step, where you decide which orders undergo these checks, example. Enable for standard orders, disable for returns. Special. Item proposal, also known as product proposal, a list of frequently ordered materials for a customer that can be automatically copied into the sales order to speed up entry. Status profile, a feature using the status management tool to define user-specific authorization levels. Example, an order needs manager approval status before the delivery can be created. Transactional variant, using SHD0 to hide fields, gray out fields, or set default values for specific transaction codes. Example, hiding the price field for certain users in VA01. Mass change, using transaction mass, object type BAS 2032, to update specific fields across thousands of sales orders or customers simultaneously. Example, Changing the sales district for 500 customers. Number ranges for master and transactional data, defining the alphanumeric intervals, internal or external, for creating new records like customers, orders and deliveries, transactions VN01, XDN1. 24. Variant configuration and batch management. Variant configuration. Create characteristics, defining the specific attributes of a product, CT04, that can be chosen. Example: color, engine size, fabric type. Create price characteristics, characteristics specifically flagged to impact pricing. Example: metallic paint adds a surcharge, linked to variant condition types, VA00. Configurable material, immaterial master, type KMAT, with the configurable indicator set, acting as the base generic product that accepts the user's choices. Configuration profile, the interface, CU41, that links the configurable material to the class, defining how the configuration screen behaves. Example: BOM explosion settings, dependencies, logic statements, preconditions, selection conditions, procedures, written to enforce rules. Example: if engine is V6, transmission must be automatic. Variant pricing, the method of calculating the price based on the chosen characteristic values using specific condition types, VA00, linked to the config values. Maintain condition type in pricing procedure, ensuring the pricing procedure includes the specific condition types derived from the variant configuration characteristics. Super BOM, a massive bill of materials containing all possible components for every variation. Selection conditions are used to pick only the relevant parts for the specific order. Batch management. Batch determination based on condition technique, automatic search logic used to find batches, inventory lots, that meet specific customer criteria. Example: customer A requires 90% remaining shelf life. Batch search procedure allocation and activation, assigning the search procedure to the sales document or movement type to trigger the automatic batch search. Automatic batch determination in SD, the system functionality that automatically splits a delivery line item into multiple sub-items if one batch cannot satisfy the full quantity. Selection classes, A class, type 023, containing characteristics. Example: viscosity, color, expiry, used to filter the available batches during the search. Sort rules, FIFO or LIFO. The logic defined to prioritize which batches to pick first. Example: first in, first out, or first expiry, first out, to optimize inventory turnover. Shelf life expiration date, SLED. A critical check ensuring that the batch delivered to the customer has sufficient remaining shelf life as agreed in the customer master. Message controls, configuring warnings or errors if the system picks a restricted batch, or if the batch does not meet the customer's specific requirements. 25. Consignment, third-party and IPO consignment. Scenario and usage. A business process where stock is stored at the customer's location but owned by the seller until the customer actually uses it used, to reduce customer inventory risk. Fill-up, the process, order type KB, item E1, of moving stock from the company's unrestricted use to customer consignment stock. Special stock W, no invoices generated. Issue, the process, order type KE, item E2, where the customer informs they have used the stock. This reduces consignment stock and triggers the invoice. Return, the process, order type KR, where the customer returns goods they had previously issued, used, back to the consignment stock, crediting the customer. Pickup, the process, order type KA, of bringing unused consignment stock back from the customer's site to the company's own warehouse. Third party. Concept, a process where the company sells goods to a customer but outsources the fulfillment to a vendor who ships directly to the customer. Scenarios, includes third party with shipping notification, creates a statistical GR, and third party without shipping notification, invoice based on invoice receipt. With shipping notification, the vendor sends an ASN, triggering a statistical goods receipt, MIGO, which then updates the order status to allow billing to the customer. Without shipping notification, the customer billing is strictly blocked until the vendor invoice, MIRO, is posted in finance, verifying the goods were sent. Returns, a complex flow where the customer returns goods to the vendor. The company issues a credit to the customer and requests a credit from the vendor, subsequent credit. Individual purchase order, IPO. IPO process, a make-to-order scenario where a specific sales order triggers a purchase requisition for a specific material that is received into the company's stock, special stock E, before shipping to the customer. IPO configuration, setting the item category, TAB, and schedule line, CB, to trigger a purchase requisition that is account assigned to the sales order, ensuring costs are tracked per order. 26. Santo intra and intercompany. Intracompany Santo. Concept: transferring stock between two plants belonging to the same company code. It has no financial impact on the company level but moves inventory valuation between plants. Types can be done via one-step 301, two-step 303 or 305, or via stock transport order UB with SD delivery NL. Configuration: requires assigning the customer number to the receiving plant and setting up the delivering plant as a vendor if required by system setup. Automatic delivery, triggering the replenishment delivery, type NL, from the purchase order in the background to handle the logistics, picking or packing. Return, process of sending goods back from receiving plant to supplying plant using a return PO, triggering a return delivery, NCR, intercompany Santo. Concept: transferring stock between two plants belonging to different company codes. This is a legal sale and requires an intercompany invoice IV. Types: uses purchase order type NB and delivery type NLCC. The supplying company creates a sale, and the receiving company creates a purchase. Return: requires a return PO and return delivery NCR, followed by an intercompany credit memo IG to reverse the financial transaction. Intercompany sales and billing: the generation of the IV billing document by the supplying company code, which is posted as an accounts payable in the receiving company code via IDOC. Automatic delivery: the creation of the outbound delivery, NLCC, from the requesting purchase order, driving the logistics execution. 27. Rebate management and ABAP query. Rebate management. Prerequisites: activation of rebate processing in the sales org, payer master and billing type configuration to enable the tracking of sales volume. Rebate process: a retrospective discount agreement where accruals are posted during every invoice, and the final payout is calculated at the end of the agreement validity. Rebate agreement customizing, defining the agreement types, example, 0001 group rebate, and the validity periods and default status rules. Access sequence, the search strategy to find valid rebate condition records, example, customer or material or customer hierarchy. Condition type, specialized condition types, example, BO01, BO02, BO03, marked as rebate class, which post to accrual accounts rather than revenue accounts. Agreement type, the high-level controller, example, 0002, material rebate, that dictates whether the rebate requires manual settlement or automatic verification. Condition type groups, grouping multiple rebate condition types together and assigning them to the agreement type to allow flexibility in one agreement. Assignments, linking the condition type groups to the agreement types and assigning the procedure to the billing document. Condition record, the actual agreement details. Transaction VBO1, specifying the target quantity or value and the accrual rate, example, 2% accrual for 1,000 units. Retroactive billing, the program VBOF, used to update rebate accruals for invoices that were created before the rebate agreement was signed or created in the system. Rebate settlement, the final execution, VBO2, where the credit memo request is generated for the customer based on the accrued value. This reverses the accruals and pays the customer. Partial settlement, an interim payout made to the customer during the validity period of the rebate agreement without closing the agreement. ABAP query. Create queries, A tool, SQ01, allowing functional consultants to create simple reports without coding by dragging and dropping fields. InfoSet, the data source definition, SQ02, where you join database tables, example, VBAK plus VBAP, to define which fields are available for the query. User groups, groups of users, SQ03, who are authorized to run specific queries and access specific info sets. Define T-code, the method of assigning a standard transaction code to the generated query so end users can run it easily without accessing the SQ01 tool. 28. SAPSD, real-time project, interview, and integration. Real-time project. R or 3 architecture, the classic 3-tier client-server architecture. Presentation, application, database, on which SAP ECC is built. R or 2 architecture, the mainframe-based predecessor to R or 3, rarely seen now but important for historical context on batch processing. ASAP methodology, accelerated SAP, the standard implementation roadmap consisting of 5 phases: project prep, blueprint, realization, final prep, go live and support. BBP phase, business blueprint phase, the critical stage where requirements are gathered, workshops held, and the future state of the system is documented in text before any configuration begins. Questionnaire, a structured document used during workshops to extract requirements from business users. Example: do you use credit limits? Do you have foreign trade? ASIS and to be documents. Documentation contrasting the current legacy process, as-is, with the proposed SAP process, to be highlighting changes and improvements. Gap analysis, identifying business requirements that the standard SAP to be process cannot meet, requiring custom development, RICEF objects. BBP sign-off, the formal milestone where the business stakeholders approve the blueprint document, freezing the scope for the realization configuration phase. Key configuration documents, the technical documentation, KDS, recording every setting made in the IMG, SPRO, to ensure reproducibility and supportability. Test case documents, step-by-step scripts outlining inputs and expected results used to validate that the system works as designed. Positive and negative testing. Unit and integration testing. Unit testing verifies individual modules, SD only, while integration testing, CT, validates end-to-end flows across modules, SDMMFI. User manuals, instructional guides, with screenshots created for end users to teach them how to perform transactions in the new SAP system. Ticketing tools and flow, the support process, using tools like ServiceNow or Jira, where users log incidents, which are categorized by priority, P1 or P2 or P3, and resolved by consultants. Cutover strategy and activities, the granular plan of moving from the legacy system to SAP, involving strict sequences of master data uploads, open transaction uploads, and stock initialization. 20Z reports with FS, developing custom reports, Z, defined in functional specifications, FS, to meet specific client reporting needs not covered by standard SAP. ALE or IDOC interfaces, application link enabling or intermediate documents, the standard technology for asynchronous data exchange between SAP and non-SAP systems. Logical system, a unique identifier for a system, client, within the network, required for ALE distribution models to know the sender and receiver. RFC, SM59. Remote function call, the technical connection setup, TCP or IP, allowing two systems to communicate. Ports, WE21. The definition of the output medium for IDOCs, such as a file path on the server or a direct transactional RFC connection. Partner profile, WE20. The definition of who we are exchanging data with, vendor or customer or logical system, and which message types, example, orders, are allowed. Distribution model, BD64. The central view of the message flow, defining who sends what message to whom. Master data transfer, the migration of static data, customers, materials, pricing, from legacy systems to SAP, usually the first step of cutover. POSO, a common EDI interface scenario, where a customer's purchase order, outbound from their system, creates a sales order, inbound IDOC, in your system. LSMW, or BDC, or BAPI, tools for data migration. LSMW is a user-friendly mapping tool. BDC is a recording method for batch input, and BAPI is a direct code-based object update method. Enhancements and user exits, 28. Predefined hooks in SAP code, example. MV45AFZZ, where ABA pers insert custom code to modify standard system behavior without breaking the core software. Forms, 14. Custom layouts for printed documents, smart forms or Adobe forms, like invoices and delivery notes, branded with client logos and specific legal text. Workflow, automated process flows, example. Credit limit approval, that route tasks to a specific user's inbox, SBWP, for approval before the process continues. Interview. Chapter-wise support tickets. Practice scenarios involving common errors. Example. Account determination error, pricing error, to prepare for support role questions. 30 interview sets, a collection of mock interview rounds covering behavioral, functional, and cross-functional questions. Customized project questions, preparing answers specifically about the candidate's resume project, such as what was your specific role in the cutover phase? 4,000 interview questions. A massive repository of potential questions ranging from basic T codes to complex user exit logic. 10 mock interviews, simulation sessions to practice articulation, confidence, and technical accuracy under pressure. Integration. SDMM availability check, reading stock. Third-party process, PR generation. Santo, delivery for PO and batch management. SDFI, account determination, revenue posting. Credit management, accounts receivable, and taxes. SDCO, profitability analysis. Colorado PA, value flows, cost of goods sold transfer, and internal orders. SDPP, transfer of requirements, demand management. MRP, visibility of sales orders, and variant configuration dependencies.